Okay, let's go. 5 tips to improve your front tuck. If you can front tuck, but you're not quite happy with your landings, the most common things you're gonna see is people covering far too much distance. They're at the end of the mat or their target before their feet are coming around. Another one is flipping high, but very slow. That one's scarier for the coaches. Last one is just having far too much momentum with your move, so you're just running into it. None of those work out, but they're all very common that you see. So how do we fix those up? I'm gonna introduce you guys to the art of blocking. Blocking is something that you do in tumbling, where you turn your forwards momentum into upwards momentum, and it takes some practice. If I was to run to this target here, and I'm sprinting, running, a jog, I wanna turn whatever momentum I'm creating there into height for my somersault. How I do that is when I plant my feet, they need to be to some degree in front of my hips. If my feet aren't in front of my hips, they're behind or under, that's just gonna continue that momentum going forwards. The features of blocking involve projecting your momentum from forwards to up by having your feet slightly in front of the hips. Now that's way easier said than done, and that takes practice. So let's look at some of the other things we can do to help fix up your front flip. If you're going way too far over, you're taking off with your shoulders way too far over your hips. Simply try to be more upright in your takeoff to fix that one up. Looking at the difference of this to this. I'm not even gonna use my arms. This is just the position of the body that helps. Shoulders more upright. Along with blocking comes understanding how to put our force into the ground. Now on a trampoline, blocking is the easiest to do. On something like an air track or a sprung floor, it's slightly more difficult. It takes a bit of time to understand the force, but I still get a lot of reward into the push I give into the air track. On grass and concrete, it can still be accomplished. It's just much, much harder. It requires the person to be a lot more aggressive from their step in to their punch into the ground. Tumbling is always, not even just front somersaults, is about power, it's about aggression in the move. If you have too much height in your front somersault, you're just trying to jump up. Maybe it even comes from the intention to try to block, but you still need some degree of shoulder over the hips to encourage that rotation. So if you find that you're trying to do your front somersault, you're going up, but the rotation feels very, very slow, you need to go over a little bit further. And if you're gonna choose between distance is your problem or if height is your problem, I would opt for distance more. I would learn to get your rotation first before you start to really try to push for height, just because that area where you're going up and not rotating can just be way more risky than going too far with your somersault. The next one is your rotation. A lot of people don't rotate tight enough. If I do everything right with my blocking with distance, I might still land on my butt or on my back because I haven't tucked tight enough. So let's have a look at this one. I'll land on my feet. But that's just because I have a lot of power. That could have been a lot faster in the rotation if I was able to pull my knees to my chest, my heels to my butt, and grab my knees on the way over. Let's have a look at that. Completed much earlier in the jump, and that's going to give me an opportunity to step out to round off, to do double front flip. It's a lot more efficient and will translate to harder skills. And last one, is it 5 points? I don't even know anymore. Let me know down in the comments. Is your landing. We approach our front somersault thinking the hardest part is that rotation, but we need to finish off the skill. If I'm only thinking of going up and rotating, I'm gonna land on my butt, even if it's a good somersault. Think of your flip as jumping up, rotating, but also your landing. This is not high enough at all, but you can practice this by thinking of stepping off, sticking your landings, trying to build that muscle memory into your landing has purpose, feet shoulder width apart, arms out in front, and that will help you nail the last part of a front somersault. All right, any other questions? Leave them down in the comments below.